When I was a young boy, a woman named Julie in a deli across the street from my childhood home turned me on to one of the greatest culinary achievements the world has ever seen. She hit me right in the taste buds with a meatball parmesan hero, and I immediately became a man. Sadly, this deli has been closed for quite some time, which has led me on a quest for the perfect meatballs. And now I'm going to share my recipe with all of you. First things first, we're going to add some olive oil to our pot, about 4, maybe 5 tablespoons. You want to generously coat the bottom because remember, we're cooking for a huge army. Chop up 3 medium onions. Without tearing up like a little baby, add those onions to your pot. Make sure you have your heat on very low. We want to cook these onions very slowly. More than just caramelizing them, we want to cook them till they're really, really soft and tender so that they melt in the sauce. If you don't like garlic, you may as well go home. Go ahead and mince up an entire bulb of garlic. You're going to want to wait until your onions are almost completely cooked before you add the garlic. We're not going to add the garlic and cook it for a very long time. We're just looking to sweat the garlic. Maybe a minute and a half. That's it. If you burn the garlic, game over. Once your garlic is sweating like a Russian in a sauna, it's time to add your crushed tomatoes. San Marzano tomatoes are probably the best, but use whatever you've got on hand. I don't judge. Remember that the acidity level of your tomatoes can vary. Sometimes you'll get tomatoes that won't be very acidic. Sometimes you'll get tomatoes that are very acidic. It's important to test your sauce while it's cooking to see if your tomatoes are acidic or not. If your tomatoes are acidic, you can add a little bit of sugar to help neutralize that effect. When taste testing your sauce, never use a wooden spoon. Always use a regular metal spoon to test your sauce. Wood has its own flavor, and a wooden spoon will change the taste of your sauce. Now it's time to add our salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and parsley. Give everything a good, thorough mix. Now it's time to add your tomato paste. If you had been paying attention earlier in the video, you would have seen that I rinsed my tomato cans out with water and then poured all that water into the pot. If not, you might want to add some water after you add your tomato paste to keep the sauce from getting too thick. Now it's time to coarsely chop up your basil. Don't chop it up too fine. Just a nice quick rough chop and throw it right in the pot. Otherwise, you'll kill all that wonderful basil flavor and aroma. Now it's time to cook that old sausage. Pour vegetable oil into your frying pan to coat the bottom, and then slide that sausage right into the pan. You want to cook the sausage, turning it around on all sides until it's golden brown. When that sausage is done, we're going to slide that right into our sauce. Make sure that you save that oil. Don't get rid of it. We're going to need it. If for whatever reason you don't like sausage, you can always skip this step. Otherwise, the sausage will add a unique dynamic of flavor to your sauce and ultimately to your meatballs. Now it's time for the star of our show. Slide your meat into a large mixing bowl. Add your breadcrumbs, pecorino romano cheese, garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, parsley, crack 2 eggs, put them right on in. Finally, add your milk to add a little bit of moisture. Now it's time to take off your rings and get your hands right in there and get messy. Start mixing your balls around. As you mix, if it feels like it's too dry, you can always add more milk. One key, important dynamic, I think the most important key to making meatballs, is the ratio of Pecorino Romano cheese and breadcrumbs to the meat. For each pound of meat, you're going to want to add a cup of Pecorino Romano and a cup of breadcrumbs. In this case, we're using 2 pounds of meat, 2 cups of Pecorino, 2 cups of breadcrumbs. Roll your balls to about 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. After you're done rolling your balls around, it's time to fry them up. Don't forget to stir that sauce occasionally or you'll be sorry. Now, using the same oil you used to fry up your sausage, you're going to add the secret ingredient, bacon grease, to knock some flavor into your meaty balls. Whenever I cook up some bacon, I save the bacon grease in a jar and I put it in the refrigerator. You're going to add about 2 tablespoons of bacon grease to your oil and let it melt in for a one-way ticket to Flavor City and possibly congestive heart failure. Add your balls to the oil and you want to brown them on all sides. Hear that sizzle and smell the aroma of deliciousness. Make sure that when you're flipping your balls that they don't stick. If it feels like they're sticking to the pan, leave them alone, let them cook a little bit longer. They should turn very easily. You don't want to rip apart your balls. Once your balls are nice and browned, it's time to gently add them to your sauce and let the magic begin. Remember to keep stirring your sauce every 10 minutes or so and let it simmer for a minimum of 1 hour. Bare minimum. I usually let it simmer for a couple of hours, maybe even longer, but you want all the flavors to coagulate and meld together. There you have it. Your meatballs are done. Hope you like this recipe. Go ahead and pair with whatever pasta you like, or just make a meatball parm hero. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be coming up with more recipes and other tasty content for you to enjoy. Peace!